What's up, YouTube? I'm Cam Tech. It's been a minute since I put a video out, but I was doing this repair right here, and I just thought to share that with you all in the event that somebody out here has a Porsche Panamera 2011 Gen 1 or a Cayenne that's suffering from coolant leaks. Quick story, the past 3 weeks, I've noticed that I had to add coolant into the reservoir bottle. There was no evidence of any leaks that I could see with the naked eye. There was no coolant going inside the motor. Mixing with oil, you may or may not know, but water that mixed with oil or coolant mixed with oil, it turns into mayonnaise. So with that being said, a couple of days ago, the car started overheating. Briefly after a cold startup, it just started overheating. It just ran, the temperature gauge ran up over 201. So with that being said, didn't drive the car, brought the car home, and really inspecting to see what this issue is. It was kind of mind-boggling. And in order to figure it out, I had to take some parts off the motor to really investigate. And what I'm going to show you here is a common problem on this car, and it should not be taken lightly. Sometimes people blow head gaskets and they don't know why they initially blew the head gasket. And it could be something as simple as this, which I'm going to share with you. The car was overheating, and in order for me to investigate to see what was going on, actually I stuck a bore scope in between all of these parts of the motor, and I actually seen coolant in the valley area a little bit. I seen some coolant, and I seen some coolant on this line right here. This is a new line, by the way. So one of the weakest coolant points besides the housing here for the thermostat is this hose. This hose is not rubber. This hose is actually plastic. And this car is designed with it sitting on top of the motor. One of the hottest areas of the car, the center of the motor. So this is where this plastic is. Basically what it is that the coolant line, there's a few coolant lines here. There's the front coolant lines, upper. There's the lower ones there. And there's some coolant lines that run to the back of the motor, right over here, where the coolant line, the heater core is. It runs all the way over here, and then it goes down right there. Then it comes out right here to this plastic piece, all right? So basically this plastic piece gets brittle over time, and they can crack anywhere. What was crazy is that the reason why I didn't know that I had a coolant leak or actually see it is because when at cold startup, of course, the coolant is cold, so therefore there was no steam. So for me to say, oh, I have a coolant leak. But I did pressurize the line, and I really couldn't get it to hold any pressure. I kept pumping it, wouldn't hold any pressure. So I knew something was going on. So again, not to be redundant, stuck a bore scope in there, figured out that the line was broken right here. So this is the new line. Here's the old line, and this sits on bank 2. This is the line that goes to the back of the motor, and this is the tee off that goes to bank 1. Just like what you see right here. Follow my finger. Bank 2, bank 1. So bank 2 connection, there's a crack, and if you can see that right there where my thumb is, it was leaking coolant out there, and as well as this fitting, it was leaking out the fitting also. The fitting is supposed to look more like this. It's supposed to be nice and thick. All right. And of course, after getting this out, I had to use a pick and dig out the piece that broke in there. So this part right here at the Porsche dealership, it cost me 120 bucks. So the things that you have to do in order to get to this, if in fact you have a coolant leak, is that you have to take off the manifold, which I have it right here. Of course, you got to take the throttle body off. You got to remove all these hoses, or these air hoses right here, and you have to take the fuel rail off. As you can see, the fuel rail is disconnected, and I have it sitting right over there. Okay. If you choose to do this job, be very, very careful. Please soon as you take that manifold off, the devil's real busy, boy. He'll have you mess up and drop a screw or something down into the valve. So make sure you tape this stuff off, and all the little holes that's around here, just cover them up with a terry cloth or whatever, just to make sure the job is completed successfully. Be very careful taking off plastic pieces because they will break. Plastic piece that goes across the motor, this vent line, it actually broke on me, which is no big deal. I ordered another one. I figured it'll break anyway. I try my best to be easy. There's a lot of plastic parts. BMWs, Mercedes, Porsches, Volkswagens. They have a bunch of plastic parts on top of the motor. And with heat, they get brittle. They break. In this case, it was a coolant line. And thankfully, I was able to figure that out before we blow a head gasket. So hopefully this was helpful. And good luck to you. Please hit the thumbs up button and share it with somebody else. Thanks.